Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dragonfire We're going to get started with a classic from an episode of Motorhead Garage from a few years ago. We get a lot of requests for it. We think you're going to enjoy it. Now, if you've ever had to jump a GM vehicle like this one here, you know that all there is in the back here for a battery post is a tiny little bolt like this, and you just have a little bit of an area to grab onto. And Rod, you've experienced this in GM vehicles for a long, long time. Take a look at this one. This one's rounded off, trying to get it off or putting jumper cables on it, rounded it off, and it's not turning at all. So what are your options at this point to get this problem rectified?
Well, if you're at this stage, then you'd have to make a mistake and grab a pair of pliers.
And if you ground that or touch the other terminal, you're in big, big trouble.
Correct.
Gotcha. Well, you have a solution to all this, which is the reason you're here, and it's simply called the Better Battery Bolt. Now, show me what this inspired.
Basically, born out of frustration, this battery bolt, all you need to install it is a 1/4-inch ratchet. No longer do you need to look for a 8mm open face or a 5/16 socket.
No guesswork, and you're not going to round it off like that.
Nope, you just need a 1/4-inch ratchet, and the bolt itself becomes the socket.
That's fantastic. And of course, the main feature being once you put it on, like we see here, you have much more of a gripping surface.
Yes, it's ribbed, so you can take a pair of jumpers.
Let's compare it with the before here. And look here, this little bolt. You barely get it on. How many times have you done this? You're beside the road and you're under pressure and you bump it and it pops right off. And over here, that is seated on there and that's not going anywhere because you've got the rib surface.
Correct.
You grab onto these alligator clips like that. It's fantastic. And tell me what it's made of and how durable is it?
It's made of sintered metal and it's been torque tested to high specifications. So if you break one of these, it means you're torquing too much to protect the threads of your battery.
Oh, no kidding. Very cool. You thought of everything. It's the simplest idea, and it's something I wish I'd have thought of. It just makes sense. And even you've thought of installing it, and you've also thought of protecting it. When you're just riding around here, you include these caps with each one.
Exactly. If it's in close quarters in your vehicle, the stud itself is 7/8 off the boot. But if you find that you're a little bit closer than that, you can use these covers to slip right on, and it protects from any contact with anything else in the vehicle.
If some vibration or something like that, you don't want any contact
Correct.
with the battery. Very cool. And now you have a new installation tool as well, which I know is going to come in handy in lots of other applications.
Exactly. So basically, this is now the socket. All you need is a ratchet.
Yep.
So now we're coming out with a composite ratchet that's non-metallic.
Yep.
And is short enough that it will not ground across the post.
That's perfect. And if you hit anything else on the car, you're not going to ground it on the vehicle and everything.
Fender wells, some of the positive sides are on the fender side.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. Should be the negative side on the fender side. But if you do have that, you can use the new composite wrench and you will not ground out.
Well, this is all about safety, and it's all about saving your vehicle. I mean, what are some of the consequences if you end up grounding out or shorting out the batteries you're installing?
ECU can go, and that's expensive. Some of the 50 amp lugs that are in the vehicles, those are expensive to replace. So anything electronic these days in vehicles, they're expensive to replace.
It's not just for jumping your car, you've also found other niche markets for this as well.
Right, if you have an antique vehicle and you want to store that vehicle and you have a battery in that vehicle, you can clip on a trickle charger to the Better Battery Bolt without having to remove the battery from the vehicle.
And then you'll ensure that thing stays connected the entire time and you always get full charge. You can be safer when you're installing your battery and when you're jumping it. Makes life a whole lot easier. Check them out at betterbatterybolt.com. We hope you enjoyed that one from our archives. We've got more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com in just a few moments.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. And by Innovation Performance Technologies, racing to innovate.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. We're going to hop in the Wayback Machine to take a look at another one from our archives.
If you got an intake manifold like this, brand new, or in this particular case, we got a flathead forward head that's been glass beaded, you want to keep them looking nice like this for a period of time. Well, it doesn't always happen, but we have Clint Bland here from Sharkhide who has the solution for that. And welcome to the show, Clint. Tell me about your Sharkhide and what it will do for us.
Well, Dave, what Sharkhide is, it's a blend of proprietary resins that we put together, and it's suspended in solvents. Once you spray or wipe that onto a particular piece of metal, it's going to seal it from the elements. And in this case, the cast iron. We can bead blast cast iron, be it blocks, heads, accessories and stuff, water pumps. Coat it with Sharkhide, and it'll keep that real nice light gray, freshly blasted appearance just literally for years.
Yeah, a lot of you guys out there have these nice aluminum radiators on your classic car, your street rod or hot rod, or even your race cars for that matter. And you like to keep them looking nice. And you can polish out the tanks on each side, but over time, as you know, they start to corrode, they get kind of white looking. So you can handle that as well. How do you do that?
Same thing with that. We do this in 2 separate steps. We'll use the same style of spray bottle. We'll let it radiator down on one side first and just basically spray through your fins like this on one side. Flip it over, spray through the other side. Now that'll keep your cores and your fins, your cooling fins, you know, from corroding and oxidizing. And it has nothing to do with heat transfer. It will not affect it whatsoever.
Okay, what about your tanks?
Now, once you're done with that, you can spray it, but the best finish of all, you know, best appearing finish, what we do is we use a white cotton baby diaper only. That's the only cloth we'll use. What we do is we just saturate it with Sharkhide right out of the can.
And I notice here what he's done, folks, is on the can, instead of popping that out, what he's done is he's poked little holes in it, and that way
Gives you a lot more control when you're saturating the
Okay,
cloth.
go ahead.
And then all you do is a single swipe like that. That's it. That's all you have to do to that tank. Make sure you got all the surfaces covered. Just a single swipe across there, and that's it. And again, that's going to dry in seconds. It's completely invisible. But now, as long as you take care of that finish on a street car, on a you know, muscle car, on a street rod,
It's going to look good for a long time, isn't it?
decades. You know, and all you have to do is no special cleaners, warm sudsy water, a chamois, and you're done.
Okay, now the other thing though is if you're doing a restoration, you want to get some of that in between the seams of the car, and we got one right over here that we can show you about. Now guys, where you've taken a car or your body and you've had it all stripped down to bare metal, this is a perfect place to use Sharkhide where you can spray it in to some of these little seams. And show us what it is here, Clint.
Well, Dave, the reason it works so well is Sharkhide's got the viscosity of water. So this will get into places that these thick viscous paints and things like that will never reach. What I've done is I put Sharkhide back in just a regular spray bottle. I set it on stream, and what we'll do is we'll go to these inner body panels and we'll just shoot a stream of Sharkhide in there. And it's going to run down just like water, and it's going to get down into these places that no other conventional rust proofer is going to make it to. Now, once it's in there, it's going to dry in just a few minutes. Then you can come back later on with your sound deadening material, your undercoating, whatever you choose to put on there.
What about paint, if you want to paint over where you've sprayed some of that?
We typically will coat an entire bare steel body. And if you don't intend to leave it bare steel, if you want to come back later and paint, you just simply take lacquer thinner, paper towels, and you can remove Sharkhide at any point.
Okay, so there you go. And folks, I want to take a look right here. These are the heads that we sprayed just a few minutes ago. And you can take a good look at them. You see, they all look natural, but they're not going to rust. They're not going to corrode. They'll look like this for a long time. Anyway, Clint, I want to thank you for stopping by. Great product.
It's my pleasure. Thank you
and we'll
much.
probably use a lot of that on this.
Absolutely.
Lots more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com when we come back. Don't miss it.
Motorhead Garage, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools. Quality affordable workbenches and tool cabinets.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Here's another one from our archives. No doubt, if you've watched Motorhead Garage before, you have seen the Magic Creeper, but maybe you don't have one, maybe you're not convinced. Let's do the Creeper comparison. We'll take a traditional Creeper like this one here. It's on wheels, it's got casters underneath, and here on our Resin Works floor, it works great. That's perfect, perfect conditions, right? And the Magic Creeper, guess what? Nice and smooth too, so it's kind of a tie ball game when you have a perfect floor like this. But what if you don't have perfect conditions? Well, if you have a crack on the floor, the Magic Creeper is going to sail right over it. Traditional Creeper is going to get hung up on that, or maybe a small screw. Maybe you have tools on the floor. Magic Creeper sails right over those. The regular Creeper does not have a chance. When you go outside, once again, the traditional Creeper doesn't have a chance. Can a traditional Creeper go over gravel? Nope. Can it go over grass? Nope. Can it go through mud? Nope. But the Magic Creeper can do all of that. It can go through the gravel, grass, mud, tree roots, anything you're dealing with outside. It'll keep you clean, and you can make all the repairs you need and get on your way. Let's talk about portability. While the Magic Creeper rolls up in stores anywhere, a traditional creeper, are you kidding me? For an emergency, you do not want to take a regular creeper along with you every time you drive your vehicle. But the Magic Creeper can go all terrain. It can get over everything, just like we said earlier. A regular creeper is only going to work in a brand new parking lot, so your odds of breaking down in a shiny, smooth parking lot are pretty slim. Let's talk about clearance under a vehicle. With a traditional creeper, with those casters underneath, there's no way, unless you've got a really jacked up vehicle, you're going to get under it without putting it up on a lift. The Magic Creeper has no wheels, so plenty of room for you under the vehicle. And finally, let's talk about some other uses for the Magic Creeper. You can use it as a fender cover. You want to try to use a traditional creeper as a fender cover? You're going to need some body work after that. You can use the Magic Creeper as a kneeling pad. You might try that with a traditional creeper. It's not going to be all that comfortable. How about an emergency blanket? Haha, got you there. Only the Magic Creeper can be used for all of the above, and there is only one authentic Magic Creeper. You can find it at magiccreeper.com, except no substitutes. If you haven't seen it, you're going to love our sister show. It's called Tech Garage. It's on Saturday mornings on Motor Trend. I co-host it with John Gardner. Now, he's a master technician. He is also a college professor, and that's where he gets to use the Magic Creeper, and he says his guys love it.
Well, Dave is an instructor at Chipola College. We don't have the luxury of a bunch of lifts. We have one here, but we have 25 students. And think about that for a minute. We have a class called Introduction, and a lot of that's just vehicle inspections. And with the ride height on vehicles today, creepers just don't work. So we get a bunch of Magic Creepers. We can put lessons together with different lesson plans and have 5, 10, 15 students relatively inexpensively just bam, get under the car, do the visual inspections, identify parts, come out, roll it up. The next student has it. We've had them for years. They work great because we have asphalt. Sometimes we have to put them in the grass. I mean, we're backed up. We don't have a problem rolling it. But creeper, number one, can't get under the car. And number two, on the surfaces, especially with the asphalt, it doesn't work very well. We're down here in Florida. It's so hot. Half the time the wheels are sinking down in the asphalt. That's how hot it is. But no, this is no problem. It gets under the cars, whether it's grass, whether it's cobblestone. We have rocks on our driveway, and we have some concrete surfaces. It doesn't make a difference.
How easy is the creeper to clean once you go through all this with the students?
The Magic Creeper's super easy to clean. We got 25 students, you know, it's like having 25 kids. They're not going to clean it. We've had some traditional creepers, and we use them in the weather. The wheels all rust. Some of them are wood. They rot and break. This one, we just wipe it off, roll it up, put it away. Sometimes they don't roll it up. They just hang it up. The next guy gets it out. They just dust it off. I mean, we got tools falling. These kids, they can't even puncture it. I mean, super durable.
Just unpacking our roadside kit here with our Magic Creeper. Of course, you get the classic Magic Creeper, the original Magic Creeper in the kit. Along with it, you get some tools to keep you safe on the side of the road and to help you make some fixes if you need to. We've got the reflector here. This is just some of the stuff in the kit. Flashlights, of course, you can see at night. The emergency rain poncho. We've already told you the Magic Creeper keeps you clean and dry, keeps you up out of the mud. Well, if it's raining, then the emergency poncho will come in handy. Then you can stay dry while you make those fixes. And of course, the thing you'll probably use most, bungee cords and zip ties to make some emergency roadside kits. Even got the dynamo flashlight. And we have a pair of gloves that's going to keep your hands dry and clean. And we've always told you you can clean the Magic Creeper with no problem with your favorite solution. But you know, when you finish on the side of the road, it's going to be covered in mud. It might be covered in dirt. Who knows what? Well, guess what? Now we have the new Magic Cleaner wipes. You can take these with you, maybe put a couple in the glove compartment, and that's all you need. You can use this to clean your Magic Creeper. You can use it on the run, any place you go, wipe down your tools, and it even cuts through grease. So if you have some stuck parts or anything you need to unscrew or unbolt, the Magic Cleaner wipes are the perfect thing. They are brand new, and you can find them at magiccreeper.com. That's the same place you can find the one, the only Magic Creeper. There are others out there, but they are imitations. Steer away from them. There is only one place to get the Magic Creeper. Buy one for yourself. They also make great gifts. Once again, magiccreeper.com. Do not go anywhere because we've got a whole lot more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com still to come.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by Ion Classic, the best way to document your restorations.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. You know, we're in the business of giving you what you want, and here's one that a lot of you folks have asked about from a previous episode of Motorhead Garage. You know, we've seen how Tribotex can do amazing things for all vehicles, But Pasha, that's not what you set out to research when you developed Tribotex, was it?
We looked at the applications of safe materials in hip implants. If you know, the teeth and hips have completely different application. Teeth as hard as you can get, and hips is a very soft, special material that usually outlasts teeth in a normal person. The miracle of that cartilage material gave us an insight what we can do to bring it to other applications, like industrial ones. We bought Drive Cars, was fixing cars, working on all applications, performance, advanced ones. So when you can feel a difference in the car, that really sparks your attention.
What was it like when you thought, oh my gosh, I can use this in my vehicle?
Actually, it was opposite. We used in the vehicle and see, wow, it really works, and showed dramatic results. The vehicle got quieter right away, and then when we build up the film over time, we saw improvement in performance gain over time, and then we started to actually drift all research toward how we can make that vehicle application by far better and growing. And it has become part of our culture, just vehicle applications.
Well, vehicle applications, Brian, you're a pro at this.
Yeah.
You've got a number of vehicles. You've used them, including a race vehicle. It's pretty unusual.
I mean, it's a Toyota Prius. It's not necessarily considered a race vehicle.
Brian Hansen is the lead engineer at Tribotex, and he gets a lot of emails. I got a chance to look through them, Brian, and I picked out some of the most popular emails you get. And the first one is a question that I ask anytime I'm going to put anything near my vehicle. Is it safe for my vehicle?
It's safe for all vehicles. Doesn't matter if you have a performance car, an off-roader, or a daily driver. This thing is safe in any engine. Took us many years to develop it and make sure that it will be safe in any engine now and in the future.
Even my old classic car?
Your old classic car is going to love it. They removed lead from the fuel. That was a good lubricant. We've used zincs and such. This nanoparticle is superior to that technology, and it's a non-toxic, so you don't have to worry about its environmental impact.
You know, oil weights have changed a lot. It used to be just throw whatever oil you want in the car, and now new cars are so particular about what they need. So does it work with the brand new cars as well?
Yes. One of the best things about Tribotex is that it is a small amount of particles that are a lot of particles in a very small tube. So we do not change the behavior of your oil. It doesn't matter if you use Tribotex with synthetic or conventional oils. We do not manipulate the oil. We just use it as a carrier for our nanoparticles.
And another question that gets asked a lot, how long does Tribotex last? One dose, I guess, you put in your car.
Tribotex is terrible for us, but great for the people because it ends up lasting in your engine for over 40,000 miles. We recommend it maybe once every year, but really you can go a couple years without needing another application.
How do I know this isn't some snake oil I'm going to put in my car? What is going to indicate to me right away that it's working?
A lot of people in about 15 minutes of running will notice that their engine will get smoother, quieter, and in time you will see a performance increase because of the combustion efficiencies are going to up a little. So we're going to see better efficiencies inside the cylinder walls. You're going to have less friction. You're going to hear less lifter noise. You're going to have easier starts in the winter. There's lots of benefits that come from this tiny little tube.
And what are some of the benefits I'm going to see long term?
Long term, your car's not going to die. It's going to keep going. If you accidentally run out of oil, we do not recommend that. But in some cases, we've had customers come to tell us that they have survived and made it to a shop without oil.
But you don't have to do the research yourself because these guys actually have it on their website.
Yeah, we actually have all of our scientific papers on our website. We've worked with national laboratories and we've been proven in many other engineering labs and are currently being tested in some very large companies right now.
NASA?
NASA actually gave us a spin-off. They published us this last year. So if you type in Tribotex NASA, you will find us on the internet.
These guys are the real deal. How much should we use in any engine at any given time?
Okay, that's a good question. A lot of people have different sized engines and it's hard to find a product that's just right. Our Tribotex Original, which is this middle-sized one, is really good for anything between like a 2-liter and a 6-liter engine. It's a little thin on the bigger side or a little heavy on the small engines, but it's totally fine for all of that. Any excess will just drain out with your oil and it will build up as much as you need. If you don't have enough, we have a satisfaction guarantee. Hit us up, we might get you another tube for you. And also, if you have a small engine, like below 2-liter, we have a Tribotex Mini, which is often great for 4-wheelers, motorcycles, snowmobiles, lawnmowers. These things are great for small cars. The Toyota Prius that I race, my Tribotex Mini works great.
We talk about oil. There's all kinds of oils out there, and for cars that have been around for a while, there is the high mileage oil.
Yeah.
Should I use that for my older vehicle when I'm using Tribotex?
You can use any oil, but we recommend using just a normal oil. Now, high mileage oils have special additives in it, which can compete with Tribotex nanoparticles. The Tribotex nanoparticles are going to be superior to those particles that you're going to find in your oils.
And I saw a few people writing in asking when they should add Tribotex. Is it every fill up, every oil change? How often?
I recommend using it after an oil change. Get a fresh set of oil and blend the Tribotex with a quart of oil to get it to disperse quicker into the engine. When you add it to your engine, you need to run it for about 500 miles at least. Give it a couple thousand better, and then it will stay in your engine for over 40,000 miles.
Well, Tribotex is going to make your engine perform better. It's going to actually repair your older engines, and it's going to make your car last longer. Check them out at Tribotex.com. That's going to do it for this episode of Motorhead Garage. We're glad you came along for the ride. If you have a product you want to see here on the show, email me at dave@motorheadgarage.tv. We'll get you here in the studio to show your product to the world. We're going to do this once again next week, and we hope you join us then. In the meantime, find us on the socials. Tell us how we're doing. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, we'll see you next time. So long.